Welcome to our channel, where we explore the hidden truths of ancient history and unravel the mysteries that have been forgotten or overlooked for generations. Today we bring you a shocking revelation, something few are aware of, yet it holds the key to understanding the very roots of the Hebrew people. Many of us have been taught that Abraham is the undisputed patriarch of the Hebrews, the father of a great nation. But what if I told you that this is only part of the story? What if the true father of the Hebrews is someone far older and even more mysterious than Abraham himself? The name Eber, a figure cloaked in mystery and steeped in ancient tradition, is at the heart of this story. Eber was an ancestor not just to the Hebrews but to multiple ancient civilizations. A descendant of Shem, the son of Noah, Eber holds the key to unlocking the secrets of a long-forgotten connection between two enigmatic groups, the Habiru and the Hebrews. Could these two groups, whose names sound eerily similar, actually be one and the same? Is there a hidden truth that ties the mysterious Habiru of ancient Egypt to the Hebrew people? Stay with us until the end, as we reveal answers to these questions that may change everything you thought you knew about ancient history. In this video, we will peel back the layers of time to discover who Eber truly was and expose the intriguing connections between the Habiru and the Hebrews, his descendants. Was Eber the true patriarch of the Hebrews? And more importantly, what secrets does this ancient figure hold that could rewrite the history of the Hebrew people and their place in the world? Before we dive deeper, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share this with anyone who shares your passion for unraveling the mysteries of our ancient past. Habiru and Hebrews, the hidden truth of Eber, the true father of the Hebrews, is not as well known as one might expect. While many believe that Abraham is their patriarch, the reality is that Eber holds that title. His name in ancient Hebrew Phoenician is Eber, and in Arabic he is known as Eber. Eber was not just the ancestor of the Hebrews, he was also the patriarch of the Ishmaelites, Midianites, Israelites, Edomites, Ammonites, Moabites, and even the Sabaeans of southern Arabia. A direct descendant of Shem, Eber was the great-grandson of Noah's son and the father of Peleg. Even more fascinating, at the age of 34, Eber became the father of Joktan, making him a distant ancestor of Abraham. According to both Hebrew and Aramaic scriptures, Eber lived for an astonishing 464 years, bridging the gap between several civilizations and ancient tribes. His name, derived from the root ber, means to cross or to go beyond, signifying one who transcends boundaries, both geographical and symbolic. Medieval scholars like Michael the Syrian Bar Hebraeus and Agapius of Hierapolis emphasized that the term Hebrews, Hiram, originated from the same Brew root, further deepening the connection between Eber and the Hebrew identity. These connections span vast regions and civilizations, suggesting that Eber's influence extends far beyond what we commonly know. Was Eber not only the father of the Hebrews but also a key figure in shaping the ancient world? But the mystery doesn't end there. Some scholars argue that the term Hebrew signifies those who cross, pointing to Abraham's migration from Ur of the Chaldeans across the Euphrates to Canaan. This idea of crossing becomes a central theme when we consider that Eber, whose name also means beyond, could have been connected to this migration. Was Eber's journey the original crossing that laid the foundation for the future Hebrew people? This leads us to an even more intriguing question. Could the Habiru, a mysterious group in ancient Egypt, be the early Hebrews themselves? The Hebrew language, often associated with the people we now call Hebrews, was originally referred to as Phoenician, or the language of Canaan. This fact alone adds another layer of complexity to our understanding of Hebrew identity. The language, much like the people, was fluid, interconnected with various Semitic cultures of the ancient world. In the Islamic tradition, Eber is seen as an ancestor of the original Arabs, known as Arab al-Riba, tying him to the prophet Hud, an important figure in the Quran. Could this connection between Islam and Judaism further solidify Eber's role in shaping multiple faiths? The Book of Chronicles recounts the lineage of Eber, stating, "And Arphaxad begot Shelah, and Shelah begot Eber. And to Eber were born 2 sons. The name of one was Peleg, because in his days the earth was divided, and the name of his brother was Joktan. These 2 sons became the founders of distinct lineages. Peleg's descendants would lead to the ancient Hebrew tribes, while Joktan's lineage founded the peoples of southern Arabia, including the Sabines, a wealthy and powerful civilization known for their riches and trade routes. The Sabines, direct descendants of Joktan, and therefore of Eber, create a fascinating link between the southern Arab peoples and the Semitic Hebrew lineage. Is it possible that these 2 seemingly separate groups were in fact tied together by a common patriarch? Additionally, there is an ancient and intriguing term that reflects the ethnic complexity of that time, Habiru or Apiru, which appears in various ancient languages such as Ugaritic, Egyptian, and Akkadian. This term was used to designate a multi-ethnic people, primarily consisting of Semitic groups that migrated from Mesopotamia. Although they were not a specific nation, the Habiru were a class of people who wandered through ancient Semitic lands, often identified as a group that transcended tribal boundaries, connecting various Semitic ethnicities. The term Habiru is mentioned in various texts from the 2nd millennium BCE throughout the Fertile Crescent, referring to a group of people with a specific social status. These individuals were described in various ways, such as rebels, fugitives, invaders, mercenaries, archers, servants, slaves, and even laborers. Some scholars suggest that Habiru or Apiru might be the original term for the Hebrews, associating it with the descendants of Eber. I will discuss this topic in more detail later. Now, regarding the etymology, the first occurrence of the term was recorded in Akkadian in the forms Habiru or Apiru. Later discoveries in Ugaritic and Egyptian texts also use the consonants P and R. Considering the documented sound changes from Northwest Semitic to Akkadian, where the sound Eber is, the root of this term has been established as pr. The root of this term is proven to be pri, which basically means dust or dirt. This is generally related to the characterization of the Habiru as nomads, mercenaries, or individuals not part of established society. The morphological pattern of the word follows the catalog structure, indicating a status or condition. Regarding the term in ancient Sumerian, the Akkadian term Habiru occasionally appears associated with the Sumerogram sagas. Akkadian dictionaries for Sumerograms added Habadu to sagas, meaning invader, leading to the suggestion that the Sumerograms were read as this word. However, the Amarna letters show the spelling Sagas, while the Ugaritic letters present Sagas, indicating that these Sumerograms were read as written and did not function as ideograms. The only Akkadian word fitting this spelling is Sagasu, meaning barbarian. However, an Akkadian gloss for an already Akkadian word seems inadequate, and the meaning of Sagazu does not correspond to the essence of the term Habiru. Therefore, the meaning of saga should probably be sought in a Western Semitic word, such as the Aramaic sags, which means muddy or restless. In this context, the word Habadu would be better interpreted as nomad, aligning with the sense of Habiru or Habiru, representing people outside traditional society, often living on its fringes. During the time of Rim Sinai, 1822 BCE to 1763 BCE, the Sumerians knew of a group of Aramean nomads living in southern Mesopotamia who were called Sagas, meaning invaders. Now, regarding the connection between the Habiru and the biblical Hebrews, descendants of Eber, since the discovery of 2nd millennium BCE inscriptions, mentioning the Habiru. Various interpretations have emerged associating them with the ancient Hebrews of the Bible. Most of these interpretations were based on an etymological connection, but this association has been widely rejected by many scholars, primarily based on Egyptian sources and later discoveries such as Ugaritic and Hittite texts. There are two main barriers to establishing the connection between the Habiru and the Hebrews: linguistic and group identity. Most scholars, such as Anson Rainian or Stephen Notley, deny any significant linguistic relationship between Habiru and Hebrew, or at most admit only a mere possibility. However, this view is not yet a consensus in the academic field. Philologically, Moshe Greenberg argued that, although Habiru and Hebrew are not clearly related, such a connection is not impossible. On the other hand, Nadav Naaman was convinced that the term Hebrew derived directly from Habiru. Among Christian scholars, such as Manfred Weipert, Henry Cazelles, and Oswald Loretz, there is less resistance to accepting a relationship between Habiru and Hebrew. For them, the linguistic connection between the two terms is simpler and more acceptable. However, Loretz, despite admitting the etymological possibility, rejects any direct equivalence between Habiru and Hebrew. Regarding identity, there is a well-established academic consensus that the Habiru and Hebrews represent two distinct groups. The biblical Hebrews are identified as an ethnic group, while the Habiru constituted a much broader multi-ethnic group defined by their social status. The morphological pattern of the word Habiru follows the catalup structure as mentioned earlier, indicating a status in contrast to the Hebrew ethnonym pattern, which is based on the nisbah structure, similar to Egyptian. The issue became more complex as scholars investigated the Habiru and the context of the Hebrews in the Bible. New analysis indicated that the Hebrew group mentioned in the Bible might be broader than just the Israelites and could possibly be more associated with the Habiru. Naaman and Yoel ben Nun highlight that the term Hebrew is generally used to describe Israelites in exceptional circumstances, such as when they are wandering, oppressed, or enslaved fighting for their liberation. Naaman notes that all biblical references to Hebrews appear to reflect traits inherited from the image of the Habiru of the 2nd millennium BCE. Moshe Greenberg also confirms that the term Hebrew is archaic and predates the Israelite identity. Professor Albert D. Friedberg agrees, arguing that Habiru referred to a social class present in various ancient Near Eastern societies. In the texts recounting the early periods of the Patriarchs in the Exodus, Hebrew seems to refer to a broader group of people in the Levant, similar to the Habiru, of which the Israelites were a part. The descendants of Eber spread across the Middle East, and many formed their own peoples with distinct names. For example, the Israelites were Hebrews, as were the Ishmaelites, because they were all descendants of Eber. This point is crucial to understanding that the ancient Hebrews were not limited to the Israelites alone, but included other Semitic groups, descendants of Eber, through his sons Peleg and Joktan. In conclusion, Eber's story unveils a deeper and more complex origin of the Hebrew people than many might realize. As the true patriarch, Eber connects not only the Hebrews but also various ancient civilizations, including the Ishmaelites, Midianites, and even the Sabaeans. His ties to the mysterious Habiru group and the linguistic roots of the Hebrew identity reveal hidden truths that transcend geographical and cultural boundaries. This journey through ancient history shows how interconnected the past truly is, bridging gaps between peoples and traditions. If this exploration of Eber and the ancient world has sparked your curiosity, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into history's greatest mysteries. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment with your thoughts, and share this with others who are fascinated by ancient history. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.